What is up YouTube, and welcome back to the RiftGuides WildRift video. I'm recording this while my cat is sleeping in my arms, so you best believe there might be some purring or meowing involved, so enjoy the cat ambience. Anyways, let's talk about another few OP picks for this patch. Let's start up with Hecarim. Hecarim is an absolute beast, and luckily he has been kind of forgotten. In recent memory, I've only encountered one Hecarim on the enemy team who was absolutely smurfing and destroying everyone, and usually the Hecarim on my team end up going 0-10, making the champion look absolutely balanced, when in fact this champion is beyond unbalanced. But you know how it goes, the Yasuo on the enemy team is always 10-0 Demon King, and the Yasuo on your team is always 0-10. It's the typical thing. So let's start out why Hecarim is such an annoying and broken champion. Hecarim fits the style of WildRift perfectly. You clear your jungle once and then you have your power spike and run around the map with your ultimate ability. Every single time you have it available, you can go for a dive and get a free pick. He's also famous, or being infamous, for being an absolute teamfight Demon King. He can go into multiple people, just pop his second ability, deal 50 billion K of damage, have phase rush, conquer, whatever you want to, and simply he doesn't die. And on the same note, he's also the living nightmare of probably any AD carry in the game. Especially when he's running phase rush, it's borderline impossible to lock that one down, and when he gets close to you, he kind of one-shots you. But if there's something that I would recommend you learn about Hecarim, learn to efficiently clear your jungle, recall, and play for specific dives. Do not put yourselves into a position where you go for a flippy gank or like anything flippy, you don't have to. And the moment you get any good teamfight, you can literally take over the game from any point on. And therefore Hecarim is such an unbelievably powerful champion you need to have on your radar if you want to play jungle. Another sleeper pick who has not been played so much recently is Akali, and I honestly don't know why. She's performing really well in general, and doesn't really struggle too much with killing pretty much anything outside of a Dr. Mundo with Force of Nature, 50 billion HP, Mantle of the 12th Hour, and well, his 780 trademark. You know how Dr. Mundo functions. But generally speaking, Akali really isn't that bad. In a solo queue environment, it's very easy to get kills, but it's, well, more difficult to actually carry games. If you autocast everything on Akali, you'll get 1 or 2 kills very easily, but will you carry the game? That is a different story. Nonetheless, you make life living hell for the enemy AD carry and the enemy mid lane mage if it's a mage. Because if you hit them with any kind of spell, they immediately die. In mid to late game, if you hit them with your third ability, they instantly die. If you just hit them with your ultimate ability, they'll also instantly die. It's a very lovely champion, a very lovely design, and something you definitely should pick up if you want to have some more fun. Going even more into the one-shot department, we have Talon. Talon received a few little nerfs, like a little tap on the wrist if anything, but he's still absolutely busted. The reason isn't necessarily just the damage itself, but the mobility and the ability to be anywhere on the map at any point in time. Just being able to consistently wall hop on cooldown and just approaching angles that you could never usually approach from is absolutely insane for a solo queue environment. For example, if you know where the enemy wards are, you can just path around, you can go for creative flanks, you can pick up the enemy backline before the enemy can even realize what's going on if you run sweeper. There are so many possibilities you could go into, it's absolutely insane. You can also split push and then just escape, you have the crit talent build, you have the typical lethality talent build, you have so many options, and it's pretty much on you and your skill set to actually utilize this champion. Similar to Hecarim, nonetheless, you have to think about an early full clear just to hit your power spike. On boots or your ultimate ability, you finally deal some real damage, but when it comes to your first reset, you finally start going. Having these boots, for example, the Gluttonous Grease, gives you infinite sustain and therefore the ability to stay on the map indefinitely, which is very powerful for any type of jungle. If you think of jungles, they just disappear into the jungle once they have Gluttonous Greaves as they're running Bloodline as well, and then they're full life after 5 seconds after hitting a camp. And if they kill the Scuttle Crab, they're full life anyway, because killing the crab was Smite, and killing the crab itself is like a health pack, and then you're nearly full life after just one little camp. Another lovely champion we need to speak about is Karma. All of you know how much I love this champion and how unbelievably unbalanced I believe this champion is. And it mostly comes down why people don't think it's that good, because they're simply playing a very one-dimensional. Karma has multiple builds. Karma has the Enchanter build with Harmonic Echo, Karma has the full damage build, and Karma has the full tank build. You can build any of these 3 builds depending on the game context and absolutely dominate the game by just taking over specific purposes in the game outside of just being this first ability bot. your champion is so much more and so much more creative in the way it creates space, opportunities, and just all-in windows. For example, the most notorious burst combo is your empowered second ability that puts a leash onto 2 enemies and yourself, and then utilizing your ultimate ability, Meteor, and your first ability, which then is empowered again because you pressed ultimate, to completely burst 2 people into oblivion. Another thing you can also do, especially in the Heartsteel meta, is just picking up Liandry's Torment. Since you have pretty low cooldowns and get decent amount of haste anyway, you can deal so much more extra damage by just applying the Liandry's effect continuously on enemy champions. Not only this, like if you're also buying Liandry, make sure to pick an anti-healing orb, the Oblivion orb, if the enemy team has any kind of healing that you need to mitigate. Since you're running Liandry's, you'll extend the anti-healing effect for a lot of time since, well, it procs on damage dealt. And therefore you're mitigating a lot of the enemy healing, making it easier for your team to have high impact, while also increasing your own impact fundamentally on many levels. Next on the chopping block, this list, is going to be Varus. And before I talk about him, please leave a like if you like this video. Leave a comment as well, it absolutely helps the video to go even further and beyond, because that's what YouTube wants to see. They want to see the likes, the comments, so you know what to do. And now let's talk about Varus. Varus has been probably one of the most staple picks ever since his buffs like 17 billion seasons ago. This champion has an unlimited amount of builds. He can be AP, he can be AD, he can be on hit, he can even go jungle, he can do anything. Mid lane, Baron lane, AD carry, you can even play him as a support. It's probably one of the most versatile champions you can ask for. And even a 0-10 Varus still has value, simply for the fact that you provide CC and percentage HP damage. So even if the Varus goes 0-10 and hits you with the Chains of Corruption, he still deals a significant amount of damage to you, and it gets even worse when you think about the second ability and the missing HP scaling. If Varus activates his second ability, there will be a massive bonus damage on the amount of missing HP you have once he hits you with the first ability. And when he pops these Blight stacks, you also take maximum HP damage as well, so you best believe that if you're like slightly below 50%, a fully charged second ability, first ability Varus is going to one-tap you, even if he's 0-10. And that is the beauty of this champion. And when it comes to laning, you play it almost non-interactively by just pressing your first ability into the wave. You can rush a Sense Reaver, just insta-clearing waves, being annoying, you can be on hit, you can be all these things. Even Heartsteel works out, by the way, if you play him in the Baron lane. And now we come for the last champion, and this is going to be Lee Sin. Lee Sin is, well, ever since, since the history of WildRift, is an annoying champion. In the distant past, he wasn't as good because people were better and people punished the champion, right? But nowadays in modern WildRift, since juggling has no downside apart from mental pain, every jungler gets away with the most grotesque things. And since you gain passive tribute gold that stacks up if you only kill a camp every once in a while, you have first strike available, and you just play a hyper-accelerated game by just walking around, you do excellently well. And if that wasn't only one thing, there's another thing. Lee Sin can fully clear the jungle in under 1 minute and 40 seconds, and that makes no sense. This champion has an insane early game. This champion even scales because of his high kick damage. If the Lee Sin is ahead once, he will continuously one-shot you, and if you have a tank on your team, he basically pulls a set and can kick the tank into you, and you will nearly get one-shot thanks to the bonus HP scaling on his kick. Nonetheless, the only saving grace when it comes to Lee Sin is that he requires hands and proper decision-making throughout the game to actually carry. There are other champions that are way easier to be played other than Lee Sin, but a beautifully and well-played Lee Sin is going to absolutely demolish you from the start of the game to the finish of the game. And there's not much you can do about this because this champion is so inherently unbalanced, and if you put in the time, you will see that this champion is a wonderful sight to behold. And with that, we're at the end of this video. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see each other for more RiftGuides content very soon. Don't forget, there will also be a fully completed or fully detailed build video about all these picks. See you soon.